तुमादिदेवा पुरुषा पुराणः तुमस्य विश्वस्य परम निधानम वेत्तासि वेद्यम च परम च धाम त्वया ततम विश्वमनंत रूप। वायु यमः अग्निवर्णा शशांकः प्रजापतिस्त्वं प्रपितामहस्य नमो नमस्तेस्तु सहस्रकृत्वा पुनश्च भूयोपि नमो नमस्ते। You are primeval God, the primordial spirit. You are the ultimate shelter of the universe. You are noble and noble and supreme abode of the universe is fully pervaded by you, being of infinite forms. You are the God of wind, God of death, God of fire and water also, the moon god and great grandfather of beings. We salute to you, thousands and thousands. We salute to you again and again. In last session, about 6 sessions, I have described about the ego or arrogance, and tomorrow's session I have finished the subject of ego, and today I will commence a new subject, divine nature soul. Soul means Atma. And about souls, I want to say something. And before the description of soul, I want to say something about thinking faculty, about Chitta. What is thinking faculty? In addition to the thinking faculty and intellect and ego, many mystics considers part of conscience. The mind contemplates mentally. An anxiety of thinking faculty is worry and contemplation. When we think about an object, a subject, an event, a substance, it is called a chitta, and it performs the work of contemplation. Excellent seekers have faith in the mind. There is a special description of thinking faculty in the means of meditation yoga. For specific knowledge about the mind, one should study the 7th section of Gita knowledge, and from there should be special information about the thinking faculty. This means thinking faculty is the most important element of our body, and I also want to describe about Chitta. Man, Buddhi, Ahankar or Chitta. There are 4 inner factors, and we should understand about Chitta is most important factor, and I will describe in other time. Now, in this session, my subject is belong to soul, Atma. The divine nature of God is alive. God is the conscience form. He divides his form into innumerable degrees. Each fraction is called an jiva. Jiva. It is also given the word for soul, body, the apara apara nature, inferior nature of God creates this human body from the Panch Mahabhutas. But after the creation of the human body, it lacks consciousness. For consciousness, God gives His body to the human body in the form of soul. When the body receives a part of the divine soul, it becomes conscious. The body is formed in the womb of the mother, and different parts of the human body become hands, feet, abdomen, head, etc. But movement takes place in it. It is not possible that way. When the organism gets out of the human body, it is called death body, but made of 5 elements, which is devoid of consciousness. For this reason, the consciousness which is in human, in the motion, is the effort, in the action process, which is the working power, in the various organs, the minds, in the power of resolution, choice in the intellect, the ability of the senses to accept the subject and body, which is action of digestion, blood circulation, excellent excretion, or all due to soul. As soon as the organism leaves the body, these actions automatically and the body becomes divided of effort. This is transcendental nature, the divine being of creature. All the creatures like insects, animals, birds, and etc., like human body, have speech, action and action among them. It is also due to part of God. Part of God is there in our body. There are insects, animals, and birds, etc. We have received this human body due to immense grace of God. Such scriptures and sects and saints have a defined and clear view. We should also accept it. The human body is obtained with the great difficulty, and we should not use it for worldly pleasures in vain, and should be used in affection with God. The same soul is there is everyone. Therefore, we have contemnism among the beings, just like these insects or animals, birds, so are we. There are children of God and part of God. Similarly, we are the part of God. Some people are the opener. The soul is not the part of God, but the soul is unique element. Every scientist accepts this fact. Eccentricity of the individual soul, and also believes that the individual in the conscious object of the body, Jivatma, is a part of the God. The fact have been explained in the Gita as a and it is the Mamavansho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. In the body is due to same organism. These facts are accepted by all. The seeker should also follow the common path and stay away from these references and believes that scripture in the proof. There is our clear view. By reflecting on the differences and remembering it respectively, repeatedly, the doubt is created. The modality of unfavorable to the seekers and seekers not beneficial. The Bhagavad Gita is a well accepted text. Hence, one should dare the doubts because it is the seeker and manifest Guru form. All of doubts remain in the spiritual practice. All of them were automatically destroyed by Gita knowledge. This is the especially of Gita knowledge. Clear answer to each of your questions are available in spirit in Shri Gita Ji. If you ask a question in a polite sense, then the answer will be automatically revealed in Gita, and some special facts are presented about the soul. So this is some description about the soul. Atma is unique element. Soul is unique element. Every human body, every human should realize eccentricity of the soul. He is extremely unique because he is a part of God. God creates the universe, but the soul cannot do that. But the creation of God keeps the creation consciousness. This process is called wearing of universe. God creates like universe and animate the body, and He sport some specific qualities of Jivatma soul are mentioned in Gita Ji. Those properties are as follow. The soul has some qualities or properties, and 18 properties or qualities are defined in Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter. Imperishable, unmeasurable, perpetual, unborn, five eternal, primeval, uncleavable, incombustible, unweighted, undyed, all-pervading, immovable, stable, constant, object, unmanifest, and inscrutable, immutable. These are 18 qualities which I have defined before you, and I want to present the slokas verses of Bhagavad Gita in which some qualities has been defined. Achodyoyam, dahyoyam, adahyoyam, kledyo, asos evacha, nityah, sarvagata, istharu, achal, ayam sanatana, avyakta ayam, achinta ayam, avakarya ayam, uchyate, tasvat evam viditva, enam na sochit arhasi. These are some qualities are defined in the 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So 18 qualities which I have defined before you. The qualities of individual soul has been explained in detail in the sector section of Gita knowledge. They should be studied from there. All of All of the above qualities, which are the soul, are also of God, as the pitcher is built from the soul. All the properties of the soil are found in pitcher. Similarly, all the qualities of the God are also found in individual soul. The singularity of individual as manifested by its qualities, the seeker appreciates that. The interview of the divine becomes the interview of the soul. It is gradual and is a matter of cultivation. Every seeker must know clearly that the person cannot be interviewed so quickly. No, nowadays the work of sharing knowledge is being done easily by some institution. It is only hypocrisy and is false. Many illusory scriptures pretending to be the false and tempered the adverse means, and in dharma of philosophy is not beneficial to the human society, is far beyond the truth. In regard, all the seekers would like to say clearly to great responsibilities that the philosophy and knowledge is not so easy that it can be known immediately by any action, any process. There is a clear request from the institution that mislead the people that they should not be confused, the seekers, by propagating falsehood. Otherwise, they will be involved in the punishment of God. Here are some institutions who says that I will show Atma or soul immediately, but it is not possible. In the forms does not spirit appears. In what forms does the spirit appears? Just the God is unmanifest, but is expressed in the form of creation. Similarly, Jivatma is also latent and she is expressed in different ways. An excellent seeker of the latent form of soul is realized, interviews him, observes some expressions of the fact in which forms the personality of person is. In the nature of people's consciousness, the personality of the individual is in the form of consciousness of living being. All the living beings that we see in the creatures, the unconsciousness which is there, the moment is there. Consciousness remains. It is the symptoms of the conscious person. As the body heats in fever, that temperature of the body increases. As the heart rate increases in high blood pressure, we estimate fever by looking at the temperature of the body and the knowing the blood pressure or measuring the heartbeat. In the same way, there is consciousness among beings that is due to the individual soul. Consciousness is a symptom of individual soul, is the expressed form. If the body of beings is conscious, there then we know the presence of the soul on it and life in it. In this way, the manifestation of the soul is made. And second fact, as an act of mind and intelligence, the work that is done by mind and intellect, that is whatever the mind resolves, and the choices that the intellect makes, it is due to the soul, the movement of mind, its versatility, preponderance, etc., is due to soul, the power to make choices in the intellect, the deterministic instinct, the working wisdom of the intellect gets power only from some soul, the work of contemplation with the mind and intellect as due to spiritual power. In last episode, many characteristics and peculiarities of the mind and intellect were mentioned. All the characteristics of the intellect and characteristics of the mind are attained by the soul itself. The mind and intellect work with the power of soul and are illuminated by its light. The soul is manifested in the form of mind and intellect. As the knowledge power of the senses, there are 5 senses in the human body. These senses are there and seems to be in all of you, the ear, eye, tongue, skin and nose. The subject of eye has to be seen. That is, by looking at the objects of eye world, we make them aware of their presence, position, and magnitude, etc. The subject of ear is word. Karm means ears, help us to be here. It is the function to make that the word aware of the forms of word. If we had no ears, we should not be able to hear the words others. We do not know the birds tweet, the thunder of the clouds, and different kinds of voices of animals, the properties of the tongue or taste. We have knowledge of the 6 types of taste like sweet, bitter, sour, etc. What kind of taste is there in the food we serve? The knowledge makes us a tongue. The quality of the skin is touch. We have knowledge of cold, heat, soft, hot, etc. from the knowledge called skin. It is spread throughout the body. The body is covered with this only. Similarly, the quality of nose is smell. We only know about different types of smells through the nose. In this way, the power of all senses to work to do is due to the soul as the action power of sensory organs. It is fourth. The human body has 5 senses which have been mentioned earlier. With hands we do the work, exchange, and with the feet we walk, and the speech we communicate, and the actions that are done by other persons personal, also are due to spirit. In this way, the individual gives power to the senses to work. In this way, the manifestation of the soul is as the action power of senses, as a function of digestion and respiration, etc. There are two major functions of digestion and respiration in the human body. 7 metals are formed from the digestion of human body, human food. These metals are made in the body only after digestion. The process of digestion, the digestive work, takes place in the form of stomach and small intestine is all due to the individual soul. Other reason are secondary. The transmission of the prana-vayu in lungs, which results in respiratory activities, is due to soul. The movement of blood is whole body going into like arteries and blood vessels and coming back to the heart, and beating heart is also due to soul. The internal action of the human body are all due to soul. From this one can easily guess the eccentricity of the individual. As the speed of insects, you must have seen many types of microbes and small insects, ants, mosquitoes, flies, etc. These types of microbes and classified in biology. Those that are classified and unclassified all do motion. How fast would you have seen a small ant run? In the small ant, God created all the organs in gave motion to her many legs, from which she runs away. It also has a purpose. The motion in it is due to the individual soul. The speed in all kinds of insect is only due to individual soul. Part of the divine soul has given impetus to that subtle insect. What is the unique work of the person? If you look at a fly, it flies away suddenly, where the power of move and fly suddenly. His only answer is the effort of the divine soul